Well, it is no secret that residential and commercial real estate has taken both a huge hit in the past year and that many malls have suffered. But could the next shoe to drop be the mall in your town? Let's find out. We're joined now by Victor Calanog. He is the director of research at Reis. I got the pronouncer right on that one?
That's right.
Correct?
Thanks for having me here.
Okay. Well, you know, say thanks after the interview.
Okay.
But let's talk about what your research has uncovered. I mean, people write in, you know, and they say, well, the mall in my town is empty. Strip malls have, and once a strip mall is half empty, it dies, right? Because no one wants to go there. It's ugly. It's unsightful. Where we stand right now in the retail side of commercial real estate, the things that our viewers see in their towns every day.
It's an interesting thing because when you mention strip malls, we usually believe that these property types are fairly stable. You know, you might lose your job, but you're probably still going to drive to the grocery to buy your milk. However, that's not the case at all. We have been tracking at Reis strip malls since 1980, and this is the 6th straight quarter when we've observed the market receiving more space from these properties as opposed to previous.
In other words, retailers are going out of business.
That's exactly right.
Spots are opening up.
That's exactly right. Malls are suffering the same problem. We have vacancy rates at 8.4%. We have not seen that since we began tracking these larger property types since the first quarter of 2000. So a lot of retailers are in trouble. One thing we've talked about in this program are clauses that retail, because, you know, we'll get the CEOs of REITs on, REITs, not Reis, and they'll say, we're fine, we've got contracts for leases, we're fine. Right.
But one thing we've talked about is how many of these retailers will have clauses that allow them to bust or change their terms if a certain number of stores in a mall or strip mall they're in go bust. Is that true?
That's exactly right. There are things called co-tenancy clauses or go dark provisions where basically you write a lease contract contingent on whether tenant A, B, or C will remain in business and or occupy anchor space in a particular mall. And if it doesn't happen, if these guys close shop, then you can either renegotiate for better terms and or bail altogether.
So I've got Sullivan stores, there's a strip mall, 20 shops, 2 anchor stores. If Sullivan stores over here, Circuit City. In my contract, maybe I've got a provision that says if Circuit City space goes empty or unleased for X amount of days or weeks, I can break my lease. Circuit City goes bust. Half the traffic at the mall just goes away because people aren't going to Circuit City anymore. I can leave now too. What happens to that mall? It just dies, right? Or just sits empty.
I mean, these malls are very interesting creatures. They tend to linger for quite a few years, if only because if they're at 40–50% occupancy, they'll try to limp along. So you've got a lot of quote-unquote dead malls going gray without exactly being demolished. Now, when things get better, you might have a developer taking them over and reconverting them, say, either into office space or even lifestyle centers. But by and large, it's going to be fairly unsightly, and I doubt it's going to drag a lot of foot traffic in there. And why would you, as a tenant, sign up for a place that isn't exactly
minimum, I'm asking for a lease
traffic?
reduction. I can guarantee that much.
Absolutely.
Where are we headed, though, Victor? Is it going to get better or worse for commercial real estate
for the next
year?
18 to 24 months, I really don't see any kind of recovery. Commercial real estate usually exhibits anywhere from an 18 to 24-month lag in terms of rent growth turning positive after firms resume hiring.
That's got to be bad for banks that are holding a lot of these notes on these properties.
I mean, I guess the fine print for the Goldman Sachs second quarter release was sure they posted record profits, but they also wrote down $700 million worth of commercial real estate values.
Yeah, and they can hang on to it. See, that's the thing. Not like an individual who has to have their home foreclosed that can't afford it. Goldman can afford to limp on, as you say.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's part of the problem that's being put up right now because, look, do you just want to take the bitter pill right now and write it off and then we can move on? Or extend the terms of your loan and try to make sure you can weather this recovery.
All right.
So we might actually postpone the coming storm, even when we probably should be dealing with it right now.
Well said. Victor Calanog, Director of Research at Reis. Great stuff. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that wraps up the first.